We asked, you answered. A little while ago, we put up a video saying, asking what are the things that you'd like to know? What have we not covered yet that you'd like us to do? And Colin popped in and said he'd love to know some hints and tips around astrophotography. Now, as it happens, we're actually putting together a Star Trails video course on our website at thecreative.guide. So we simply went in and took elements out of that just to give you some hints and tips to get you up and running. So any camera that can do 30 seconds, and that's all of your micro four thirds, crop sensor cameras, full frame cameras, they can all do that. So 30 seconds is the maximum you can usually do. Put f4 on in manual mode and ISO 100 and go wide, you're going to be fine. Now that's the limit you can do though, because you don't get star trails. Stars don't really begin to move until after 30 seconds. You'll get a little bit of blur. They might look like they're out of focus. They're not kind of pinpricks, but that's because 30 seconds has allowed a little bit of movement, but not enough to get you going. So what we're looking to do is to actually go to bulb mode on your camera or manual mode and then into bulb. Now, let me show you how that works. So most cameras, if they have bulb mode, will show you a B somewhere on the dial or somewhere in the camera itself. If they don't, all is not lost. You go to manual mode as I have here, and then you just keep moving and moving and moving and moving. And where 30 seconds would be normally your max, if you go one more, you get bulb. Now, bulb works simply by allowing you to press and hold. And then when you let go, the shot's taken. Now, of course, that would be as boring as heck, and you might even die of hypothermia if you were there holding your finger down for a long period of time. But what that does is it allows you to start getting movement on the stars. This shot here is 499 seconds, f4, 100 ISO. So I dropped the ISO on the shot, and that has allowed me get those lovely movements on those stars. I'm pointing towards the North Star here. If you're in Australia, in the southern part, in South America, New Zealand, that would be the Southern Star. Then everything rotates around that and goes faster as you go away from it. Now, you will be manually focusing on the camera. And the reason for that is that the camera doesn't know where to focus. The light level is very low, so autofocus is going to hunt. So here's what you do. Your camera somewhere is going to have an autofocus, manual focus switch, or maybe it's inside the body of the camera. And what you'll do is you'll focus on something, then gently go back to manual. And once you do that, all should be good. Now, in this particular shot here, what I did was I focused on the edge of the roof. Now, if you do that, and basically you're looking for something sort of 20 meters away, 50 feet away, once you focus at that distance, everything from that point on is guaranteed to be in focus. You've hit infinity, right? Infinity and beyond to the stars. And that allows you to get everything in focus. Now, this shot here, 3,958 seconds. So that's achieved by leaving the shutter open for that length of time. I am pointing towards the North Star over here, and what's an interesting thing that happens, particularly with ultra wide angle lenses, they begin to go off in these kind of splayed out movements here. Settings here, 4.5, ISO 100, ultra wide angle on a wide lens, a full frame camera, 16 millimeters. Now, the settings that you're going to need to be aware of is that make sure that you turn off any anti-shake, any image stabilization, optical image stabilization, whatever the camera calls it, turn that off because you'll get a little bit of blur inside. You're going to need to use a cable release or a remote release, or Colin, you have an interval timer inside your own camera itself, and that will allow you to set a time. So the recommendation would be try 30 seconds, then 60, then 120, then 240, and you must double in time, because the very interesting thing about star trail photography is that if you're at 120 seconds and leave it open for another 10 seconds, it makes no real difference, because we're doubling or halving. That's how stops work. So if I want to get an extra stop of light in at 240, I've got to go to 480. If I'm at 1200 seconds and I want an extra stop, I have to go to 2400 seconds. So you begin to be out there all night for those type of things. But here's the thing about the release that's really important, that there must be a lock on it somewhere. And so the standard cable releases will have a button for you to press. You'll obviously connect by cable, press up, and that locks it. It stays open for as long as it stays there. And then once you time it, you may have a little timer inside the camera that shows you, or you may actually have use your phone or something like that. But definitely if there's an interval timer, as you have, Colin, you can actually dial in the amount. And what you do then is once you're finished, you come back. Now, I jokingly refer to the shot I showed you just there. That's my 2 glasses of Chardonnay shot. Now, that was after I pressed the shutter button in the bulb mode, because I needed all my faculties to be able to get it going. All I then needed to do was pop out that 3,958 seconds later, and then just turn the camera off, and I get this shot here itself. So the other things then, that once you get down to these bulb mode settings, this is 7,919 seconds. And this was achieved by f11 at 100 ISO. I've almost got complete arc on those trees taken in, or the stars with the trees in front, taken in Namibia. Now for star trails, as I say, manual to get to bulb mode, or you may have a bulb mode. Your speed will be whatever it is you want. I do recommend, as I say, 30, 60. You get 539 because you've only got halfway through your first glass of wine or your beer. F4 usually, 100 ISO, 200, 400, 800, see how that works for you. You won't be worried about your metering mode because you are the metering mode, you're on a manual mode. Tungsten, you may need to change the white balance, talk about that in a sec. And then RAW and JPEG, please, because with RAW files, you have so much more you can do with the shot afterwards, particularly if the exposure hasn't come out exactly as you want. And then your focus, as I say, you focus at something that's 25 meters, 20 meters, 50 feet away, and then go to manual focus. One thing that's really important is this will chew through your batteries like nothing. So I have this really neat USB charger that I use. I can charge 2 batteries, USB cable. I can plug it into the wall, but I can also plug it into a charger, a battery pack while I'm out on site. Very, very important. But I say you will need a second battery, almost guaranteed. It chews through your batteries like nothing. So that is our follower request video. This one was on Astro Photography. It's all about making the stars move. Please pop in with questions and comments. Let us know what other ones we want to do, or is there something we haven't covered here in this particular video that you'd like to know a little bit more of. Okay, we look forward to hearing from you. Take care.